Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome back to the RSC-EU stream. We are now moving on to Challenger play-ins. I'm rsc16 and joined alongside me is Mr. Poggy. I've just clocked that the overlay is the wrong way round. I just want to clarify. I am rsc16, and Mr. Poggy is on my right. So it's
Yo,
not
what
the
up,
best
guys?
start. Let's just say.
What up? Oh man, no, it's good to be back. Challenger playing GM. I'm very excited of what today's gonna bring to us. We've already had some games take place yesterday, but the rest of which will be played today. And we've already seen, in my opinion, a howler of a series with Ember squeezing out the 4-3. And I'm very excited to see what they'll be able to do against the KDJ here.
Yeah, so both teams coming from the Glaciers Conference. Ember maybe being somewhat lucky to even qualify for play-ins, especially off the back of that display. And I'm sure Royal will definitely fancy their chances after seeing what went down. But of course, they performed that bit better in league play, hence why they got the bye. And I think I'm just going to jump. Well, we've just got a quick view of the bracket. We've already seen what happened yesterday. We saw Seiko advance through the upper bracket into playoffs, where they will take on Owls. And we saw Frowls advance through the lower bracket after taking down Apprentices and Mischief, both in Game 7. And now we need to see whether Royal or Ember will go through to playoffs on Saturday.
I mean, is it going to be a question? We've got Buddha, Pairs, and Vortex waiting for them. 3 people I have played before in my RSC career, and I know that they're not the worst. But I mean, it is playoffs. Everything. Oh, hello, Xinjiang. Everything can happen in playoff or like in play-ins and playoffs. So I mean, best of luck to Ember, as they have proven themselves to at least get to the second round of play-ins. But let's see if they can make it to playoffs.
Yeah, but I think by that same token, I think you have to say Impulse clearly not at their best. Otherwise, you get the feeling that they would have dispatched of Ember quite easily. I must say that it wasn't the greatest series. It wasn't the highest quality series. I would definitely fancy KTG to take this one. And strangely enough, their stats are bugged. But what we can see is the Ember player stats of J Rise, Billiam, Krim playing for most. Despite being with sub, ended up playing near enough half the games. So it isn't really a dedicated sub. It's almost like a 4-man roster where it looks like he's going to keep playing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen in previous series he wasn't doing too awful. So maybe the sub magic will just continue on going, because as you said, it's looking like a 4-man roster. Maybe he just wasn't able to play it as much during league play than this week or like this week. So I mean, I'm just hoping for surprises at this point.
Yeah, I am. And I think on that note, I think we're just going to jump into predictions, and I think off the back of that display, I'm going to back Royals to win the series 4-0. I don't normally predict a sweep here, best of Sam, but I think from what I've seen, I think it's the most logical thing for me to do.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, Ember got out of the gate very strong in the previous series, so they might just have a surprise game or two up their sleeve. So if you're going to ask me, I don't think it's going to be sweep, but I do have to go with Royals, and I think it'll be 4-1 for KDJ Royals here today.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind that. I don't think Ember will really do much in this series, but there's only one way to find out. I mean, for all we know, they could upset the odds just like they did in the previous game, but There's only one way to find out, as we are about to start the first game of a best of 7. The winner goes to playoffs, continuing their run in the lower bracket, but the loser, their player's journey, will end here.
Will it be Royals crowning themselves king and move on up to playoffs, or will it be Ember keeping that fire burning off after a very unexpected series outcome in the previous one? Will only be away for one series, and now we'll see right off the bat who will be taking it home. The first few seconds a bit chaotic are now turning into the first settling minute of a Rocket League match. Billy Bad Boy taking it up on the right corner, trying to go past Buddha, who's known as the Chinese wall. Nothing gets past that guy. And now with Vortex following up on that pass, looking for someone in the middle. Billy Bad Boy keeping the net clean so far, though. After almost a minute of playtime, none of the teams have really been too threatening.
No, and I think maybe it's just that thing of just feeling each other out after how... I think for Ember, maybe like just barely scraping through. They want to try and keep things tight to the back, so they just want trying to like not take too many risks. Although I did notice, so a few seconds earlier, the net was completely open on their part, but just none of the Royals players able to take advantage of it. Big Boy, Billy Bad Boy does make the save, but no one's ever follow up as Texor able to put it away on, I think, pretty much an open net.
Yeah, E not getting back in time. Vortex playing past him, just outspeeding him, and opening this series is Vortex. And let's see if he can continue off from this kickoff. Good kickoff, but received by Billy Bad Boy, still up in the air. Gets the reset. Pair's able to block, however. Billy Bad Boy still not done. Looking for someone in the middle, but en route, missing the ball, unfortunately. Now, Ember looking for a way to get back into this match. They still have over half the match left, but Royals is ramping up the pressure. Pairs looking for someone in the middle. No one there to connect with. And Vortex, left alone by his teammates, leaving E with an open net. And receiving the gift is E, making it 1-1.
Well, I think as Vortex just getting beaten on the 50, and Pairs just wasn't back in time. Maybe just expecting that challenge to go a bit better. I mean, we've seen that kind of scenario play out many times, and I think I'm kind of starting to wonder when will they learn? When will they learn to not bank on your teammate winning the 50? When will you learn to have a player back just in case it doesn't go the way you want it to? And for Royals, they will hope that it is a lesson learned on their part, as they haven't gone behind. It's just that their lead has been wiped, and maybe a bit of a disconnect as Texor's hoping for a pass, but Pairs just taking it on by himself. Krim able to make the clearance, but Pairs intercepts back into middle as Krim has to push it away. And although that's a strong 50 against E, as things are starting to settle down. Ember maybe finally starting to find their feet. It's across the face of goal. Can they get a goal here? As it does sneak in, as a bit of brute force there, but Billy Bad Boy puts Ember in front.
But almost getting the first save, but Billy Bad Boy showing how many times he goes to Mackey's. As after a fat 50 after that, I'm definitely not questioning that. Is at least 3 times a week where he goes to the Mackeys. But now, Royals actually with their backs against the wall in game 1. Ember coming strong right out of the gate. And the rotational mistake that Royals have made earlier might prove to be a difficulty. But Buddha is proving me wrong there, because after a passing play like that, they might just have the rotations just in place.
Well, it's an excellent pass forwards by Vortex. Right weight of it, right direction, and Buddha, it's not always the easiest. And I know that like some players look at that and think, oh, well, it's easy to finish on there, or I could finish on there. Well, it's not. Sometimes it's not as easy as it looks, and just getting exactly the right contact there to to generate enough power to get it beyond the Ember defense, and their back level hoping to maybe restore their lead as it does go into a corner. Pez maybe looking for a corner read, but Billy Bad Boy cuts it out. Now Vortex in the corner is trying to disrupt Ember defense, but they've had no such luck as now Billy Bad Boy one-on-one, as now the save comes out, and all of a sudden Ember, they're starting to look like a decent threat in this first game.
I mean, they're looking for the passing plays as, I don't know, as the series score of previous series, you'd think that against a team like Royals, they'll be struggling a lot more, but Royals, with their rotational style, they're leaving open the gaps for Ember to find the time and space to pass to each other. And with that being said, the threat is still continuing. Billy Bad Boy trying to ramp up the pressure here. Buddha now with some possession, needs to give it away. Vortex up into the air, looking for an air dribble. Billy Bad Boy 15 and out though. Pear's going for a shot. Just over the bar. And now in these penultimate seconds, Krim looking for a pass down the middle. He may be looking to receive. Buddha getting the ball away. And now Pears in the final seconds looking for a shooting opportunity. Billy Bad Boy, Ember is looking uncomfortable there, GM. But they do manage to clear the ball away. Threat not averted though. And they have to drop this ball to get into the first overtime here in game one.
Yeah, I must say, I agree with you. They definitely got away with it there. And I think they can count themselves lucky to have not conceded. Although maybe it's still got more danger to deal with. Pears looking for passer to middle to find Buddha. But it has been cut out. But Vortex 0 boost still trying to do something with it just to keep the play going, to try and buy his teammates some time. But now Billy Bad Boy one-on-one with Vortex off a bar down. He can't get there. And now it's another save, but the net's open as the Ember players are rushing back, but no one really seems to have that much boost, so it just comes to nothing in the end.
Vortex having a massive recovery in the net there, keeping it clean in this overtime as he's now looking for an attacking opportunity. Instantly cleared away by E though. Buddha needs to be doing something about this. Someone needs to go up. Fortunately, a bit too late. Ember still in the attack. Pears clearing it off the bar, still with it, banging it forward. And now Ember with an easy catch here, banging it forward. Billy Bad Boy actually receiving the end of that pass. And Royals are looking a bit all over the place. They're not looking like a united front. And if this continues too much longer, I actually have to think, never mind, that Ember could go away with this. But Pears absolutely shutting me down there with a finish and a half.
Yeah, excellent finish, but I just wonder, would Billy Bad Boy, should he have been able to get to that ball there? Because I think that maybe it was somewhat preventable. I mean, of course, take nothing away from the actual quality of the shot. I think just maybe the shot shouldn't have been allowed to come to fruition in the first place. And Royals, they did look shaky at times. I mean, about 20 seconds before that, there was that double commit on the backboard, and it shows that they do need to sharpen up if they do want to make a deep run on Saturday.
I mean, the first game is always testing out the waters a bit, right? But both teams were very, very shaky. It's not clear, at least to me yet, who's going to come out on top. I mean, Royals, on paper, to me, look stronger. But Ember sometimes proving me wrong during this game as well. And as we're going to move on to Forbidden Temple, Ember might find their spark again to somehow get back a game in this series.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. If Royals don't get right together, then Ember might fancy their chances. But I mean, surely you would bet on Royals on this being their floor rather than their ceiling, as Buddha fails to make contact off the kickoff. So that one goes into middle, as Pears is able to intercept the pass. And also it could be awkward as
Billy, no!
Kinds of commotion. And the goal is credited to Pears.
I mean, what a shot, right? Clearing it onto the right wall, looking for a double tap. Billy Bad Boy is actually the one continuing. Buddha with, some might call it a fake, but I'm calling it a whiff. And then Billy with no boost, unable to catch his own ball back to his own net. I mean, he's put themselves at a very big disadvantage in this early stage of the game here. But let's see if he can bring it back up into the air. Whilst Pears is able to intercept, Billy is still on the backboard, looking for an angle down. Not down enough. Pears now with some control in the air. Not getting second touch that he wanted. Vortex still being able to keep the pressure on, to keep the ball on the side of Ember. And Royals, in this first minute, looking at least a bit better than the previous game. And there I go again. I'll just stop talking because this is, I think, the second or third time it's already happened in 2 games that the caster curse strikes me.
Yeah, but I must say neither team has really done that much. I mean, yes, Royals have scored, but they haven't had a shot. It was actually an own goal, and
oh my.
I feel like that was another goal which should not have gone in.
It should, GM, it should be 0-0 right now. It should be 0-0 right now. We've had an own goal, we've had a very unfortunate goal, and then we've had a kickoff goal. This is, I mean, it seems, and it's good because Ember's coming out on top now, and they're definitely showing that they've still got some spark in them left, but don't do it this way, as Vortex almost gets a lucky one in as well. Crim saving it off the line, keeping at least my hopes up for this game to turn into something beautiful after such a very distraught start.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was very nearly 2 goals from 0 shots for Royals there, which would have been quite dubious. I'm not sure if that would have been a record of any description. I don't know if any team has ever won a game despite having 0 shots, but there's a shot from Crim, which does find its way in, and Ember have extended their lead.
I mean, finally someone's coming out on top, and finally it's from somewhat of a passing play. Billy looking for a shot under his opponents, actually manages to get it over the bar, but Crim there to follow up. As the Dutchman scores a 3-1, Ember are looking to go even further, but we still have 3 minutes left. More than enough time to get 2 goals back if we were Royals. And Buddha is looking to do just that. Looking for Vortex. And Vortex looking for the bottom right corner. Finding it. And hopefully putting on a comeback as he scores the 3-2.
Yeah, it's returning a favour of a previous game as it's Buddha providing that excellent pass into middle. And I believe it is Vortex getting on the end of it as, well, Royals, it is their first shot, but strangely enough, their second goal in the game. But across the board, a 200% shot accuracy, something we don't see very often in an RSC game, as Crim does get a flip reset, looking for another one, but instead it's an open net, which Vortex will take. That is his second goal, and it does mean that maybe maybe the opposite of a silver lining is that their shooting accuracy has gone from 200% to 150%.
It's a baffling stat, but what's more baffling to me is Crim. He got the first flip reset, but we are still in Challenger, guys. It's not as if we're Zen trying to get a double flip reset away from the net. That could have been cleared in a way different manner. At least I would have done it different. But it is always a much different situation once you're actually in the voice call with your teammates here on the live stream for RSC in those play-ins where everything could happen. And now, let's see what Vortex can make happen after clearing this away from the right corner. Pears already up in the air. E trying to look for a beat. Actually, Pears still continuing with his attack. Almost getting the double tap. But now, leaving his teammate Vortex a bit too much alone. He's actually needed to wait. Got the pop from Pears. Looking for another touch here. But no cigar from that attack yet. Buddha now facing off against Crim. One of the weaker shots this game yet. And Crim almost being called off by it. Still gets it off the line.
Well, I must say that Royals, they have had a couple more shots on, but no more goals. But there's still time yet as it goes into middle. And going back to earlier when Krim tried that double flip reset, I mean, I definitely have to agree with you that a more pragmatic approach should have been used there. Just boom it. Just get it gone. Like there's no need to bother with all that fancy mechanical stuff. Just get the ball away from danger. Start substance over style, as it were. As also, and I think this game has started to quieten down a bit. There have been a couple more shots, but it's just not really too threatening. As Pears gets the clearance, does try for it, but Krim gets ahead of him as that one narrowly wide. As a couple of demos coming through, but Ember just aren't able to take advantage of it. There just isn't a follow-up there quickly enough, and Royals they seem to have time to gather themselves to try and do a bit more defending, but more demos come through as Ember trying to continue to unsettle this Royals defense, as still they're able to hold it down. And can they force overtime? Can they get a winner? They can!
Vortex in the penultimate seconds of this second game here gets it past E over Krim, who's been caught off guard as he moved up a bit too close to rotation, and Billy Badboy with absolutely zero boost in the tank. Too late on that far post rotation, too slow to get back to the ball, but the clock has not ticked down enough as Ember is looking for a final opportunity to score. Billy Badboy with a miraculous pop there. And now Royals are looking to drop the ball. No one on the side of Ember with boost. No one able to get that ball off the ground. And Royals taking home game number 2.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but they got it done. I think that's pretty much how the game could be summed up. As Ember, I mean, to be fair, they did have a couple of decent passing plays of their own, but there were a couple of absolute shockers defensively on both teams, I must say. Royals drop the ball for Ember's second goal, and I think both teams, I think Royals just that little bit better at capitalizing on the defensive errors, as they're still able to maintain 67% shot accuracy.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, I really don't know what to say. I mean, it is, on the end, still the challenger tier. Mistakes are very, very unfortunate to happen, but a lot more prone to happen than in the higher tiers. But I think in the last game, we saw just a mistake one too many. And in my opinion, this series is everything but over. Ember's taken it to overtime in game 1. Still made it a 1-goal game in game 2. And with Royals not showing their aim game right now, Embers could very much capitalize of that.
Yeah, I think Ember, I mean, it goes without saying, they need to tighten up their defense. As that one is an own goal!
Oh no! Oh, this is getting better and better. Krim looking to clear this away, getting the double tap off his own bar, actually clearing it away with the first touch as well. It is Krim putting Ember 1-0 down after one of the most unfortunate own goals I've seen yet.
Yeah, and they are trying to get one back, but Pears makes a save, as still looking to build the pressure as it goes into middle, but Pears does make the clearance as Vortex trying to pass it back to him, but the pass not needed. Pears still going as it goes into middle. Is A1 back? Well, they do somehow scramble it away. It has looked far from convincing. I mean, before that own goal, I was going to say that Ember, they need to push a defence. I think, especially after that, my point still stands. It would have stood even further, even stronger, had Royals made it 2-0. They could still do, as Ember are still trying to get themselves out. It looks like they have done, as Crim does sign for 50. But, well, I mean, it hasn't exactly looked convincing from either side, I must say.
I mean, that's why I said what I said before. This is still anyone's series. If Royals won't capitalize on these massive chances, they're just leaving the door open for Ember to come back. Not even in this game, but just in the series in general. They're leaving the door open quite a bit. And Ember should really look at themselves in the mirror to capitalize on those opportunities given to them. But Royals now in possession. Vortex moving down the left side with a fancy flick there. Getting it into the middle. Pairs up as well. Gets a challenge in. Buddha looking for a chance. And there it is. Finally a chance created by Royals. Set up by Royals. And finished by Royals.
Yeah, and it is better, but I think Ember, I mean, again, I think we're beating the dead horse here, but they could have done better in terms of cutting out the pass. There were all three of them all just kind of clumped up in the corner. So someone should have taken the initiative to challenge, but none of them did. And I think it could be easy pickings. It could be another one, but E does make the save as they're struggling to get out. The 50 goes into the middle. Billy Bad Boy's been bumped, but the bump actually helps him as he helps it on to Crim. Onto a backboard. The fob is there. It's on target. Off the post and in.
I mean, it's always difficult to kind of anticipate if the shot is going in or out. I've had it way too many times where it hits the post and I absolutely bonk myself up the post. But we are in playoffs. There is no reason to not take a risk like that if it means keeping the net clean. And with a small mistake like that from Vortex, Ember are very much into the game as he's looking for a flick. And now with that clear from Pairs, actually Billy Bad Boy still managed to get there. And Ember still living to fight for another day. Definitely not done with this game yet, as they are continuing to attack. No one down the right flank. E getting in the challenge. Billy Bad Boy faking it for his teammate Crim, who's been caught off guard by that. Now in need to get back as fast as they can is Ember and Crim. Finally, well, in this case, getting the save instead of ramping it up against the crossbar again with another own goal. And now, threat not averted yet as Vortex is beelining it on the left side. Billy Bad Boy now able to get with it. Challenge coming in from Buddha. Gets it. No one to follow up quick enough, though. Pairs looking for a block. I guess faking it. But no real threats in these past seconds, as both teams are now just a bit ping-ponging, giving away the possession too much. And like the bangs like these, where control could be taken, is what both teams currently could improve on and what could make them the match winners.
Yeah, and now Buddha's trying to take control, but just gives possession straight to Crim. Or you could argue didn't really have many other options there. Maybe could have opted to just delay the play, wait for his teammates to support him. But he still have a ball in for Ember half, and Pairs looking for a shot. It goes wide. Buddha with a flop off the bar and down. Billy Bad Boy does make the clear, but Vortex is lurking, but forced to drop back. Kai knew that he just wasn't going to be able to get there, as that pass maybe had a bit too much on it, but still trying to find a way through. So it drops down on target. Vortex does make the save. 30 seconds left. Maybe a chance of a counter attack, but Crim shuts it down. And I think going back to that open net opportunity that Royals had earlier, I think there's actually a bump on Vortex which stopped him from scoring it. So card goes to show just how much fight Ember have left in them, that even though they did leave the net open, they're going to do everything they can to try and still salvage something, but they aren't able to force it through. It's 0 seconds, the ball has hit the ground and Royals are on match point.
Billy Bad Boy was really being a bad boy in those penultimate seconds, looking for a bum to clean up that net, hoping to get that open net opportunity in. But again, I mean, the game wasn't decided by it, but starting with an own goal and losing again by 1 goal is just not fortunate, man. Honestly, Ember could very much take a game, and Royal's actually getting away with murder, in my opinion. It's just so dodgy, man. It's literally so dodgy.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you. I think Royals, they have had their moments, but I think I have to agree that Ember have just been far too sloppy defensively. They've given up goals that they, quite frankly, should not be giving up, and they've only got themselves to blame for being 3-0 down. And surprise, I don't know about you, but I haven't seen them call a timeout, which I'm surprised by, because they've got a lot to sort out defensively. At least maybe they think they don't need a timeout, but what they do need to keep their players run alive is a reverse sweep, which I'm not sure about you, but I don't really think they'll get it.
I mean, we're only 5 minutes away from the answer, Gem, but to be completely honest, I don't think you want to call a timeout here. Ember has been having some momentum of their own, and Royals haven't really been in the driver's seat the whole series. Keep getting away with 1-goal games, and no real convincing wins on their part. And with E getting this flick on target, Ember is finally starting off on the right foot.
Well, they'll be hoping that is them getting back on track, as it were. As I don't think they've scored the opening goal in any of other games, and I mean, in all games they have been guilty of going behind early through especially preventable goals. They nearly did so there, but a shot off target. And what do Royals have to offer, as E has retreated back? Wise decision, as he's able to take control, looking to play the pass but it's too much for Bad Boy. And it's a double commit, it's a team bump. Can Pairs take advantage? But Krim is the last player back and does make the save.
But still looking for a threatening chance here. Gets it on target, but Billy Bad Boy hitting the ball at a fortunate timing this time, and maybe looking for a goal here. Unfortunately getting demoed along the way. Had a small touch, but not enough to get that ball towards target. Billy Bad Boy now, after that respawn, absolutely diving on that ball like Cristiano Ronaldo would dive in a World Cup finals. And now, for Vortex, well, Billy had to avoid a bump here. 2 people up there from Royals, and a counter-attacking opportunity for Embers here. E without any boost, though. And this has also been an underlying problem for Ember. The boost management has been absolutely crozzled, but Billy finally getting 100 boost and absolutely smashing it under the bar, getting past Buddha here. And then Vortex up too late, unable to block the ball and unable to block Billy Bad Boy.
Well, despite the failings as a team, it's that individual brilliance which shines through, and but instead it is saved by Vortex. And Royals, this should be the wake-up call that they need to get their act together, otherwise they could drop at least a game, maybe more. Maybe it could be the start of a slippery slope which they do not want to slide down, as there is a follow-up from Pairs, but it's narrowly off target. Still trying to recycle possession as it's in the corner. It's just a bit of ping-pong here, as maybe they are finally able to get it out. As now, Billy Bad Boy, that's deflected wide, as Buddha, despite getting bumped, still able to get the clearance. That one off the backboard. No follow-up from anyone. As
hello
just
there. What?
Able to... Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there.
No one was in rotation there for Ember. That is so funny to see. Billy Bad Boy somehow coming from the right on the screen of the POV of E. And talking about E, he's just scored the 3rd one here. As Vortex with an unfortunate touch, leaving Buddha all alone, getting faked the absolute shizzles out. And Vortex not being able to get back. And E putting Ember 3 goals up. It's looking like Ember has gone from passenger princess to the absolute drivers of this series as they are looking to find their first game.
Well, maybe they don't need a timeout to turn things around, but it might be a bit premature if Royals can get one back. But instead, Krim is able to get there first, as it looks like they have finally started to tighten things up on the defense, as Royals have not had many opportunities at all to get a goal here. And instead it's Ember who are the ones that are looking to extend their lead. Although, to be honest, they've only had 5 shots. They haven't really worked too hard for their goals. And instead, it's a bit of a role reversal as E trying to get the fake. But Vortex stands strong there. And now Royals still looking for their first goal. Goes into middle. Butter fakes it. But Pez maybe hasn't got the memo, as just about able to prevent a 4th goal there. Or crisis averted in a way. And the more time that slips off the clock, the more that Ember can believe that they can get at least a game. And maybe it could be the start of something special, something that none of us could have seen coming.
I mean, the match is not over, and Vortex is definitely not done with it after having a reset like that. But Royals on the backbone again, and E finding the back of the net again, making it his 3rd hat-trick for this player, and he's been absolutely having it this game. Pears almost getting his wheels on that ball, but just too much backwards momentum, placing him too far down his own net. And Ember, I mean, I'm going to say it, putting the nail in the coffin for this game, as they will take it to at least game 5 here at Utopia Coliseum.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. I don't see any chance of Royals pulling 4 goals out the hat. There could be a 5th one. It is for Krim, who gets himself on the score sheet at long last. It was only waiting for him to get himself a goal. He has done. And for Ember, it is almost an everyone eats game. All 3 players have scored and have made some contribution of some sort to this series, as Cover could be 1 goal back. Cover keep a clean sheet. It's off the bar. And maybe that could be that, as Royals, that this is the wake-up call that they arguably need. They won 3 games despite not playing particularly well, but now that Ember have their act together, the Royals, they're going to need to do the same.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Is this going to be another game 7, GM? We've seen Ember get up 3-0, then almost get reverse swept by Impulse. Now Royals is 3-0 up, and Ember have finally been able to get themselves on the series scoreboard, making it 3-1. As after a 5-0 victory, they're looking to be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, they are. And, well, I'm not sure if this is a blip or if it is actually going to be the start of something special. We've already seen it before. Can Ember repeat the trick? Can they pull off that huge reversal of fortunes that they were able to do? In fact, they won the end of it. They were 3-0 up and then collapsed, but were eventually able to pull themselves together, as now the shoe is on the other foot on their part. Will we see a similar story, or will the script be flipped as we go into game 5?
Another 5 minutes for Royals to crown themselves a playoff team, excuse me. But Ember, after winning 5-0, must have found some new hope. And looking here at Beckwith Park, they are trying to find a second game as well, and maybe even a third in the next one. But Royals now have to do anything in their power to keep them at bay, as Krim Already up in the air. Got the first reset. Opting to not use it. Vortex getting his wheels on it. Now Buddha up in the air. Cleared by E. No one in the back again for Royals. And this has taken a very long time. Vortex not getting his wheels on it. But E, unfortunately, leaving the crossbar reverberating as we still are on a 0-0 scoreline.
Yeah, we are. And Royals, I do question their rotations. I think it was a large part of why they conceded 5, and they've already conceded here. It is Krim, the last player to score in the previous game, is the first player to score in this game.
And with that beautiful finish from Krim, Ember are again looking like they will be in the driver's seat for this game as well. Not really having any credible threats coming off from Royals. Now with a little double commit in the back, which could have been scary. It's gone the right way. With Billy Bad Boy here, unfortunately without any boost on the wall. He needs to leave that ball for Pairs. But now, still leaving that ball too much. Not taking the control that he needs. Pairs looking for a bump on Krim. Krim still able to keep that net clean. But Royals finally looking like they're waking up a bit after coming out of their beauty sleep in the last game. And now Vortex looking for control. Buddha taking it instead. Good challenge by E there. Billy Bad Boy in a bit of an awkward situation. Krim up in the air. Going to look for a reset. Maybe this time on the right side of the field. But it is cleared away by Buddha. And Royals still very much in contention to get a comeback rolling.
Yeah, they are. And, well, Ember, they seem to slow down a bit. Still trying to get pressure, still trying to get shots on, but they aren't really forcing the issue like they used to. Maybe just looking to preserve their clean sheet from the previous game as well. They've gone 7.5 minutes without conceding. Never mind.
Well, cast the curses, boys. We should really stop talking about these unfortunate situations for both teams at this point. Vortex clearing his way through the middle. No one in position to even get that ball away from net, as Krim was rotated a bit too far from that far post to get that away. And with no one in the net again, Buddha's looking to make it 2-1 as he slots it in the right corner.
Well, I mean, there's Caster's Curse, and then there's whatever this is.
That's so true.
But yeah, Buddha, good first touch to set himself up, and then just unleashes that pile driver. And despite all 3 Ember players being back, none of them could make that save. And also, things are looking shaky for them. Royals, do they have their act together, or will they be dethroned as it's off the bar and Ember are level?
I mean, you've got Caster Curse, you've got Buddha's goal, and then you have this as well. Not once, but hitting twice on the bar is E. And with that equalizing goal, we are back to square one. But now with only 2 minutes and 10 seconds left for both teams to make an impact. Will it be Royals getting into playoffs, or will it be Ember fighting for a reverse sweep? Only 2 minutes removed, and we'll know the answer. Or another... I'm having a really difficult time with saying the word another. Or will it be another overtime? As Buddha is now able to clear it away. Krim on the right wall, looking for a pass into the middle. Trying to play it behind Pairs, who still gets his wheels on the ball. Now Krim still with it. Someone in the middle needs to be reached here. Billy Bad Boy is the last man, committing like his life depends on it. Well, his life doesn't depend on it, but his survival in this series and hopefully play-ins definitely does. As Pairs, he's not getting that ball away like he would like to. Missing the ball here on the backboard as well. Billy Bad Boy in a very awkward situation here, but look at those demos in the back, GM. Will it be a goal? Yes, with the absolute precision from Billy Bad Boy.
I cannot quite believe what I've seen. Just when it looked like Ember were up against it, Billy Bad Boy all on his own, with Pairs chasing him down for the demo. Not only does he dodge the demo, his teammates demo the last two Royal players back, and all of a sudden it's Ember with the open net, and it's Billy Badboy converting it. It's such a strange twist of fate so late on in this game 5, and as the Royals, it's something extra for them which they have to work on, which they have to work against, and now they're really getting roughed up as Billy Badboy bearing down on goal to Krim off the post and in.
Great 50 here by Billy Badboy, bumping Buddha completely out of the way, getting a fake on pairs, keeping that 50 low, and Krim just beating Vortex there. And it's looking like game number 5 is going Ember's way, as the last 40 seconds could still mean that Royal could get it to an overtime. Ember is just absolutely not making any mistakes right now. This late in the game, I hope for them to been such a lead like this, especially in this late stage. Only 15 seconds left there on this clock as Buddha's looking for a shot. Pass from the backboard, hitting the crossbar. And if that shot would have gone in, the chance would have been way greater for another kick-off goal to make it into the overtime. But the ball being cleared away by Ember and the scoreline being 4-2 means we are going to go on to game number 6 as Ember takes their second victory in this series.
Well, I must say, I am surprised as Ember, they did get their goal, but also when Royals rallied back, it looked like maybe Ember was slipping back to their old ways, but in the end it was them who were able to get back together, and they were able to dismantle the Royals' defense so brilliantly. They just worked so much. They worked so as a team. They were so much more cohesive. It just worked so much better. Royals, it just looks like 3 solo queuers in an average rank game. But as for Ember, the difference is they're actually looking like a team who know how each other play.
Yeah, definitely. Like, the passes are just flowing, the follow-ups are there, and everything that isn't there at the side of Royals is purely based on that. Not the greatest of rotations, not the greatest of communications. And it's looking as if they are trying to lose, or starting to lose their mental, as allowing to drop 1 game is all right, but allowing to drop 2 and moving on to game number 6, it is starting to gnaw away at them. But Buddha is apparently having ice implored in his veins as he scores right off the kickoff.
Well, he's looking to make sure to give his team the best possible start in this game 6, just to make sure they don't slide any further down that slippery slope. Just looking to try and get a grip of things as Pez does make the clearance off the backboard, but he does get there ahead of him as Billy Badboy leaves him to do his thing. And all of a sudden it's dangerous, but there is the clearance from Pez to at least keep them at arm's length, as now he does send the ball forwards again, but it's a strong 50 as it's into the middle. Another 50 coming out. Neither team able to get any real sort of control of proceedings here, but now the ball is in the middle. Can a Royals player get there? No. Buddha choosing to hang back, as definitely a right decision. Will have been a big gamble to try and commit to that, but now Ember maybe more defending to do, which they are able to execute. But still they need to clear, as a minute gone, as an excellent air dribble from Billy Badboy does relieve the pressure, and now it's Ember on the attack, but Pez able to make the save, and both teams higher good spur pressure, but it is Royals who are ahead.
The match is settling down a bit. Ember looks very threatening. Billy Badboy with a cheeky bump previously as well, but both teams still not able to get complete control of the ball. But the goals are starting to slim down. Krim may be looking for a shot here, being deflected by Pez. And now Buddha with a good block here as well. Needs to follow up on this quickly. No one on the wall to beat. Giving away the possession like that. No good communication within the team there. But an open air opportunity here. And a demo while Pears driving absolutely past that ball. Ooh, that could have been very dangerous for Ember. Getting away with murder there. But it is looking like Royals have finally found back their mojo.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It should be 2-0 right now, but somehow none of them able to get anything on that ball. It was a completely open net, and any sort of contact would have meant that they score, but instead there's a chance that goes begging. And now off the backboard, can Pez get a second touch? Not quite. Is there another follow? Buddha again against the backboard, and again the backboard, and Vortex still not able to put it in. It's another wasted chance for Royals. Will they look back on that with any sense of regret, as it's still only a 1-goal game, as that is 2 huge chances that have been blundered on their part.
But looking like he's recording a YouTube video. Old school crossbar challenges being made here, not once but twice. As now Vortex is still trying to apply some pressure. Buddha early to catch this one up as well. Pears being demoed. That could have been dangerous for Royals here, but now on the counter-attacking opportunity, still giving the ball away, not being able to catch that ball on the wall as well. As now Vortex with a beautiful touch, clearing that ball far and far away. As now Pears is going to pick this one up. Playing it against the wall, read by Billy. As the bump is not going to be there on Crim. But not finding the back of the net again. Come on, just put it in.
Well, just how many more chances will he be given? How many more chances does he need before he's able to score? As, well, he can't keep getting away with missing open nets forever. Ember, they haven't scored yet. As that one's off the post, it's E on the follow-up, he is, but Pez does make the save, and Ember, they're trying to get a goal back of their own, but now it's Royals' turn to try and extend their lead as Pez work it to a corner, as Vortex is backed off, but now that chance has come to nothing, and now it's Ember, their turn. Can they do anything with it? No, and it's just a matter of both teams. They're just taking turns to have their pressure, to have shots on, but just none of them able to find their way in. But now all 3 players commit, and somehow they're able to get away with it, and somehow they're now able to get a chance going forwards. But instead, Ember still looking. Can they get a late equaliser? Not quite, as that one into a corner. Crim able to pick it up over Buddha. Could that do it? They still keep it up as Vortex does make the save, as E just waited to see what Pears will do with it, but they don't need to wait. They can't wait. They need to keep it up, but they can't. And Royals, it was far from convincing, but they got the job done.
Playing with fire while playing against Ember is very, very questionable, especially in that final minute. It all started to look like it was going to fall apart for KDJ Royals, but they have managed to bring it home. Unfortunately, not had a game 7 for them, as that could have been a disastrous outcome after such a strong start for them earlier this series. But congratulations to Buddha, Vortex, and I thought the final person would show up on screen, but MVP Vortex with 5 goals, 4 assists, and 8 saves. Look at that.
Yeah, excellent performance throughout, and it's not exactly a performance that catches eye, but it is a good solid performance. Get his team over the line, and that is all that matters. And also 8 demos, making sure that Ember don't have a quiet night in defence, and that result means that Ember unfortunately exit the play-ins, but Royals their chance of winning the Challenger tier is still alive.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't know who they are going to play against yet, as that match will be played on... No, wait, that will be played tonight, right? Yeah. No? Yeah? No? Yeah.
Yeah, there's one more series tonight.
Yeah, there is one more series tonight. Atmos versus Neptunium. They'll be deciding later if they will play against Owl in the upper bracket or against KGJ Royals in the lower bracket. But Royal at least got their spot on Saturday sorted out.
Yeah, and I think they definitely have things to work on. I think that to put it
Definitely.
politely, but anyway, they'll be glad that their passage to Championship Saturday has been guaranteed. But we do have one more series, and we're already behind. So be sure to stick around for the final series, and it will be an upper bracket one.
Yeah, it will be Atmos.
Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will tailor to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type medify.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's medify.gg/@cmasorl_.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to the RSC-EU stream. We are not done yet. We have one more series in these Challenger play-ins. It will be Atmos versus Neptunium. Once again, I'm choosing again. I'm joined by Mr. Poggy, and this time our names are the right way round on the overlay.
Oh, it's lovely to be back already. As we are here for the final series we're going to be watching today, the final series of play-ins, deciding who'll be in the upper bracket or in the lower bracket between these two teams. It is not life or death just yet for these two teams, but as of Saturday, for one of these teams, it will start off like it.
Yeah, it's so important for these teams to still keep themselves in the upper bracket. They do not want to face that daunting lower bracket run that can suck so much out of you if you have to try to go all the way, potentially staring down the barrel of 5 or 6 hours of Rocket League straight. It's going to be so mentally taxing if you find yourselves down there come Saturday. But for the upper bracket, the winner of this series will get to take on Owls, who I'd imagine are one of the favourites to win the tournament. As we get another look at the bracket here, the playoffs bracket, all this action will take place on Saturday. We've already got couple lower bracket. We've already got a couple of matches confirmed. We've got Eclipse versus Seiko and Frowls versus Qantas, and then Owls versus the winner of Atmos versus Neptunium, and Royal versus the loser of Atmos versus Neptunium. So both teams get to see what their fate will be depending on this result.
It's a lot to look forward to on Saturday, but we have got one more series to play today. Atmos versus Neptunium. And I think it's just a time to get straight into our predictions, GM, because I cannot wait too much longer to see these two teams face off.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close match. I've personally gone for Neptunium winning the series 4-2. I think Alex is a really good player that as AJ sank, I wanted to draft him round 1, but he got picked up before I had the chance. Rubik's Borsal is going to be a good supporting act as well. But what about you?
I mean, I'm just going to throw a wild one out there. This could be a game 7. This could be done in 4 games. Though I don't think it will be done in 4 games. I will think it will be done in 5 with Atmos as the winner of this series with 4-1.
Yeah, it's hard to say how this series is going to go. There's not really much to split these teams in terms of how they did in league play. Neptunium 42-20, Atmos 43-29, and both teams getting 3 wins in their final 5 league games, so ending the regular season in pretty good form. But that league play doesn't matter. When it comes to playoffs, form goes out the window. It's just a matter of how you can show up on the day. And Borsful is showing up to play-ins in the Merc. I must say, one of the cars of all time.
Last week, we've had people pulling up in Scarab. This week, it will be Mercs. This could not be more RSC than ever. Like, it's just amazing to see this. But we do have to get our focus back onto the game as Borsful in that fat Merc makes it to use it in a save as he clears the line. Now Cynic's on the left wall for him, getting not 1 but 2 bumps, and the pass into the middle, making himself useful while having nil boost. Now Salt Iron up in the air, faking one, not really faking anyone with it. But the attack is still going. Atmos looking a bit more threatening than Neptunium so far. But the whole game can still go each way, as both teams are still looking for that opening goal.
Yeah, and it feels like neither team, they haven't really got anything going yet. Just 2 shots on target between them, 1 each. I think it's actually been fairly even so far. And yes, Atmos, we've had the ball in the Neptunium half more than Neptunium have had the ball in the Atmos half, but maybe a chance of Borsful lays it off to Alex, but it's a great save by Zixify. That's been the biggest chance of the game so far. It has been for Neptunium. They do get another shot, but again, Atmos able to save, and now Saltly looking for 50, but Alex able to save, and now Cynics, last player back, he's 1v2, but Rubik's does get the bump, and Alex gets a goal.
Alex getting the ball over Ghosty there. Rubik's realizing that he needs to get in front, bumping Cynics out of the way in a beautiful fashion, getting the opening goal and putting Neptunium up by 1 goal. But maybe right after this kickoff, it could get dangerous. Ghosty popping up in the air. Alex needs to get a touch on this. Does manage to do so, but Saw Lion is not done with yet. And Ghosty almost getting it with a backflip ball, still not cleared off the line. But Alex having the final say in the matter with a beautiful save, keeping their net clean. But still, danger's not averted yet. Saw Lion still trying to get it in. Challenges being made all across the net there. But Neptunium finally getting that ball away, relieving some of that pressure after Atmos gone 1-0 down. They are very strongly looking for an equaliser.
Well, it's unbelievable just how they were able to keep the ball out. I think there were 2 goal line clearances there. And now, all of a sudden, they're looking for a second goal, but that one goes wide from Alex. And they still have the ball in that Atmos half, but I think that attack, it's still going. Rubik's has an open net, but maybe just didn't realise it in time. And Atmos, for all their pressure, they still haven't gotten a goal. But it's not to say they haven't tried. They could get the equaliser here with Cynics, but the second touch, he just gets it all wrong. And it goes well wide. But Ghosty trying again. It is Saltly, and they tried, and now they eventually have their reward.
Saltly with a very good follow-up after a very unfortunate backboard touch by Neptunium. Now with an equalised scoreline back to square one. Only 1 minute and 35 seconds left on the clock. Cynics is looking for the next attacking opportunity for Atmos. Alex denying him the chance to. Saltly keeping control of the ball. This is what you want to see from these challenger teams. No more unnecessary booming. No more unnecessary loss of possession. A bit more control than the tiers we've already had play last week. Now Alex getting it on the backboard. Saltly is in a bit of an awkward position. Still keeping the net clear though. Alex not done with putting on pressure yet though. As now Borsful looking for the top right corner. A bit wide, but was definitely looking threatening. And the threat's not averted yet. Ghosty still with it. Cynics now getting in touch. Borsful able to catch Cynics with a good 50 though. It's Rubik's now in the air. Neptunium still not letting go of any of that pressure that they've been building up in the past few seconds.
No, and well, Neptune, they're still trying to put Atmos under the pressure. As still they're trying to find that pass into middle. As Rubik's does find Alex. The shot is on, but it was never really going to go in there, despite it having a good amount of power. It's just too far away, and I think in the end, Atmos is good. It was a fairly comfortable save on their part. It is very likely that it's going to go to overtime in this first game, and Alex, he can't be found with a pass, and Cynics, he just lets it drop. There's no real need to drag the game out any longer. Might as well just let it go to overtime. Reset the state of play. Gives yourselves just those few seconds to steady yourselves. It's still Neptunium find a way through.
Great touch there by Rubik's. I think credit should go to him, as he was the key player in that play. As off that touch, the ball got forward, and then Borsful having the final say with a top right banger, putting Neptunium 1-0 ahead in this series.
Yeah, it is, and I have to say Neptunium were looking like the better team for good stretches of it, but Neptunium, we did have those extended spells of pressure. Atmos, those spells of pressure we did have were more dangerous, but there's just at least 2 occasions they just couldn't quite force it over the line. Neptunium, they just somehow able to keep it out, and it was unfortunate. I think on another day, Atmos would have won that game, but I think it kind of speaks volumes as to just how close this game has been and how close this series could end up being.
I want to just give a very quick thank you to Space Crisp in the chat saying Mr. Boogie has the best prediction. That's what's happening. Oh my days. That caught me off guard for a second. But let's see if they can make it happen. Atmos got it to overtime, just not bringing it home. But here at Forbidden Temple, they have gotten another chance to make it right as all the players are up on the field. We are looking at game number 2 to commence any second. Countdowns going down. And now, with another 5 minutes on the clock, we'll have the answer if Neptunium will take another game home this series or if Atmos is looking to fight back.
Yeah, and not really much happening on this kickoff. No one able to make contact on that loose ball in the air. And now Sporsel, it's a fairly weak shot, which Cynics is able to deal with very, very calmly. And now it's across the face of goal, quite dangerous, but Borsful does make the clearance. Having to go alone. His teammates aren't really there to back him up, but Alex does play it to a corner. Saltley tried to control it, but Rubik's with a challenge, but still doesn't really get on the way of it. Both teams just tossing away possession, just not really doing anything productive with the ball, and it's in the end, it's just not really much happening from either side, but there it is from Cynics.
What a double tap after a pass. Well, good 50 from Saltley. Cynics is able to pick it up. Alex nor Rubik's able to get a touch on that. And that is a message after losing in overtime that Cynics is definitely not ready to give up anything this game. And definitely not this series. But look out, because Neptunium is on their way back. Alex finding the post. But not the back of the net. As Rubik's is now up on the right wall. Ghosty getting the first block, not getting a second touch though. Cynics up in the air. The Swede getting a good 50. Rubik's in an unfortunate position. Does manage to get beautiful control on that, staying behind the ball and the 50. Now Alex clearing it away. No boost, but 100 boost for Borsful as he's able to follow up on that. Faking it for his teammates Rubik's. Unfortunately, can't do too much with it. And Atmos back on their attacking ways. Is it now? Rubik's getting the passing play off to Alex. Looking for a double. Looking for a double. Borsful is the one finishing this off. But look at that passing play from Neptunium.
Yeah, it's not very often we see that in the Challenger tier as they finally get something going after it being so disjointed for the first third of this game 2. All of a sudden, Neptunium, they start to work the ball so well. The initial pass forwards on to, I believe it was Alex, who then able to get a sucker touch, and while he didn't score himself, he was able to find Borsful, who was able to complete the task of a simple tap-in, and now Neptunium all level.
Ghosty, good challenge between him and Rubik's. Now Cynic's able to collect, looking for a shot over Borsful. No, Borsful gets the final say in that. Threat not averted. Ghosty still up on the back wall now. Cleared by Alex. Looking for a pass into the middle. No one of his teammates are even near to follow up quickly on that. Definitely not quick enough. Cynic's now looking for a pass down mid. Rubik's able to collect though. Now on the counter attack, Salt Lee. Good block. Still no real threats coming away from both teams here. As we only have 2 minutes left. Cynics might be looking threatening now, though. And got his second on his name.
Well, there's a bit of a counter-attack, really, as Cynics. Well, Alex, there's actually a backflip. Just so unfortunate. If it just kept going, he'd have been able to cut it out and it'd have still been 1-1. But instead, maybe just the pressure getting to him. As all eyes are on this team, this game, this series. As it looks like Atmosphere, we're trying to get another one. But this time, Neptunium, they are able to keep out. That's a strong close. But straight into Cynics, off a backboard. He can't get the double tap that time. But Atmos showing that they are here to play. They aren't content with just sitting on the 1-goal lead. They want to extend it. They want to make it even harder for Neptunium to pull it back. They want to get their first game win of the series. And it's not guaranteed yet. Neptunium, they're looking for an equaliser. Here's Alex, take it over way, but Saltley makes a save. And Neptunium still working around, still trying to find that shot to get beyond the last defender. But Atmos, they just aren't letting them through.
Great defense being displayed by Atmos here. But they still have another minute to defend for their lives to keep this series somewhat alive. I know it's a best of 7 and it would only be 2-0. But the odds are stacking up against you if you need so many game wins in a row. And getting one right here would be very, very fortunate. We'll be putting them in a much more great position. As now Cynics is still looking to make it 3-1. I think Ghosty's looking to just keep the score alive. But never mind, he's looking to even expand his score with Atmos as Borsful giving away this possession and Alex not being anywhere near the goal. It is an open net opportunity and Ghosty is taking full, and I say full credits for that.
Yeah, he is, and that could be that for game 2. It would take something truly special for Neptune to pull it back. They need a goal right here, right now, if they want to do so. But Atmos, they're just not letting them have it. Instead, it could be goal number 4 for them, but Saltley has missed. But there's no real jeopardy on it, as Atmos, they do take game 2, and they level the series.
A great job here by Atmos, bouncing back from that overtime loss, back up to a 3-1 win, tying up this series. And with the domination that they've been having over Neptunia, with Cynics having 5 shots fired off on that net, it's looking good for Atmos. It's looking like they're getting more comfortable playing from a position like this. And let's hope they can keep on having this momentum. Neptunium having made some mistakes in the back. No one in this match, to be fair, getting a lot of saves. It is time to look in the mirror and ask themselves what is going wrong.
Well, I think Atmos, the reason why they haven't had that many saves is because they've done so good at stopping the attacks in the midfield, rather than they stop the attacks, they cut out the passes before they develop into anything so dangerous that it needs a save to stop it from going in. I think that is what's going on. I think that is why they were able to win game 2. They were just able to shut down the Neptunium attacks so early, so that they just never really able to get anything going, apart from that one goal where you have to say Neptunium, they worked it from back to front absolutely brilliantly, and they will need some more of that if they are to restore their series lead going into game 3.
And in game 3, it is off to a rocky start for both teams, but Atmos on the receiving end as Neptunium with Alex and Borsful are putting up a fight, saying, all right, you could have had one game from us, but we are still here. And with only 16 seconds played, Neptunium already 1 goal up. More than enough time for Atmos to come back, but it's always great to start off with a lead.
Yeah, it definitely is. And they're looking to try to build on it as Boswell does turn away, leaving it to Rubix. Does enough to avert the initial danger, but Boswell is needed to follow up. But Atmos are trying to build something dangerous here, but instead that attack is short-lived as Alex and Rubix, I believe, getting in the way of each other. Still able to get the shot on, but it does require a save from Cynics as it drops down. It is with Cynics again. Doesn't get the second touch though, and Neptunium, we do survive, but now Cynics coming again. And again, it is, I believe it's Alex, able to make the save, and things are starting to look a bit frantic. And I said about how both teams did so well at stopping each other's attacks in midfield. All of a sudden, I think we're starting to see the opposite of that in this game. As that one goes into middle, and it's definitely the opposite. It's looking more like there's a lot of last second stops rather than the midfield nullification that we saw earlier.
I think you can only agree with that, as both teams are looking a bit more chaotic in this early stage of the match. I mean, we do have 3 minutes left to settle, but normally that is already after the first minute, and both teams are still looking to scramble their way to the front of each other's sides. And now with Ghosty trying to get it forward, and Saltley being not one but two players of Neptunium. He needs to beat the third one here as well, as he gets faked out. Rubik's now able to collect this. Alex playing it down the field, but with Ghosty to collect and Saltley up. Rubik's got a bit of pressure on him, as if he would have missed that ball, things could have gone sideways. Now Ghosty on the backboard, Alex clearing that ball away. Saltley still having a final say in the matter, but being cleared away by Alex again, who's been showing an absolute great display of how to defend in Rocket League.
Yeah, but could be more defeated to do. Borsel's the last player back, and
Oh, no.
there is the bump coming through. And, well, I mean, you do have to feel for Borsful. The last player back, counter to defend, 1v2, Saltley hand control of the ball, and Ghosty chasing him down for a demo. Doesn't make contact in the end, but it is enough to throw him off. Opens things up for Atmos. They find the equaliser. I think you have to say, with the pressure they've had, it has been coming.
It's definitely been coming, but a counter-attack here from Neptunium is also still brewing, as both teams refusing to let go of the throttle. It is only the pedal to the metal. There's now Saltley finally letting go of that throttle, trying to slow down the play. Neptunium still launching their attacks relentlessly. And now it's finally Atmos' turn to get this ball into the front. Cynics needed to connect on that, but Ghosty with a too weak of a pass. And Rubik's with a great interception, by the way. It is Atmos making a very big mistake of leaving that net way too open.
Yeah, I think with that sort of play, when the last man's expected to go, you've either got to fully commit to it or just back off. And I think it was Cynics just did neither, just kind of stuck in two minds as to what to do, where to be in that situation, and it has cost his team dearly. You have to say, at Atmos, they are trying to get an equaliser, but Alex does make the save. But it's back with Cynics, does find a pass to the middle, but neither of his teammates are there to receive it. And all of a sudden, Atmos are ones that are starting to look a bit disjointed. That things are not really going their way. But still a minute for them to sort things out, as Cynics not able to follow up. And now Rubik's not the greatest touch, because he's only found Ghosty, who finds a flip reset, who goes into middle, but well, neither of his teammates are able to follow up. It's all of a sudden it's looking a bit stop-start from Atmos, and with 30 seconds left, they need a goal if they want to avoid going behind in the series.
With only 30 seconds left, Neptunium is definitely not looking to relieve any pressures they've been building up. And with Borsful and Alex playing in the front like that, it is very hard for Atmos to get back in this game. And I don't want to say it yet, but it's looking like the nail's been put in the coffin. As with only 24 seconds left and 2 goals to make up, Atmos are looking like they are letting game 3 go. And Rubik's still on the ball. Cynics now with a clear, looking for a good 50. Sorely maybe able to reach it, but Rubik's very smartly playing it to the side. Only 10 seconds left. Cynics now here, placing it on the back wall, straight down, being read by Borsful. It is the nail in the coffin, ladies and gentlemen. Attempt to get anything to midfield, but Neptunium, after losing game 2, bouncing straight back with a great display of team play.
Yeah, and you have to say, I think from the early goal, they were set, and despite that setback that Atmos inflicted upon them, they were able to dust themselves down and were able to get 2 more of their own, with that 3rd goal, as you say, coming quite late in the day. And Atmos, I think, maybe just need to work on their attack a little bit more. They actually defended. Their defense wasn't that bad. It was just going forward. Sometimes they could have just done things a bit differently. I think one of Neptune's goals came from Atmos not getting their attack right, the pass just not being where it needed to be. So that's definitely something for them to work on for the rest of the series. But it's not been horrendous by any means. So, like, all these games have been fairly close so far.
I mean, you can see on the scoreboard as well, like the distribution of shots over all the games from Atmos has been all over the place. Cynics had 5 shots last game, but didn't even get a shot off on target in the last game. And with that being said, and with that being showed from Atmos, it is definitely not looking too good yet. Rotational-wise, they might be solid in defense, but in offense, there's definitely much more things to work on. Let's see if they've at least realized that here in Utopia Coliseum, so that they can move forward with great purpose. As, they're already going to get quite close. Ghosty still playing it off in the middle. Cynics getting a touch on that ball. Ball still flaring blue. But Rubik's is the person who stayed closest to it all. And outplaying Saltley, who thought he'd just go for the left. But Rubik's playing it smart into the dead corner and already putting Neptunium on a well-deserved 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he was in control of that situation. As again, it's like Atmos, they were looking good. They were looking like they were going to push for that goal, but instead the attack breaks down. Neptunium, they're able to launch a counter-attack, and Atmos concede off the back of it. But now it could open up for Saltley.
Woohoo! What a finish, GM. My goodness. A great attempt by Cynics to get the pressure on, and the pressure was too much for Rubik's, who couldn't get his wheels on it. And Alex tries to make a last-ditch effort save, but unstoppable is the accuracy from Saltley. And we might just keep going. 50 here in the front already. Rubik's staying closer after getting that back boost. But everything is very chaotic still in the first minute. And now both teams are looking to try and settle down. Cynic still with a shot off. Ghostly could get here in time, and he does. Chipping it in the middle of the goal, finding the top of the net. And with that, scoring the 2-1.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Borsful. He missed a backboard read for Atmos to score the first goal, and he missed another vital touch there. So Rubik's has been directly at fault for 2 goals, as Atmos do have a third here, and all of a sudden it's falling apart. It's 3 goals, a space of about 30 seconds for Atmos, and Neptunium a penny for their thoughts.
I mean, Atmos getting the goals in that they need at this point. As with being 2-1 down in this series, you always have the feeling to be a bit more offensive. But look at the offense they're bringing to the table, GM. Cynics already after a great catch on the midfield. Only Rubik's in the way, who get absolutely demolished by a bump. As Cynics then just calmly flicks it in. Already 4-1. And Atmos looking to be in complete control of the early stage of this match.
Well, where has this Atmos side been? This is the most goals they scored in a series. I believe it's more goals than their previous 2 games combined, but they could concede. It is boastful, looking to shut down that flurry of Atmos goals. The goal from Neptunium, as Ghosty could argue we could have done better there, but it's just that one long ball forwards, and Atmos, he just didn't have enough players back, and Neptunium, they will be glad to have that goal, but it could be dangerous as there's a bit of a mess in the corner, as Saltley looking to play it middle, gets a 50. Is there a fault? There isn't. Ghosty has backed off, and Atmos are looking to protect what they have.
And by doing so is Ghosty trying to get this ball away. Done it the first time, not getting into touch on the second time. And with Rubik's up in the air, not enough boost to get down from that for that double tap. It is now still Alex trying to get some way of an attack going. But Atmos looking at a very open net here. Ballsful. First one back. Saltley with a great touch back into the middle. No one, unfortunately, from Atmos to connect with. And then they are just standing still around the midfield, not being able to connect in the front, but also not able to cover in the back. Rotations are all over the place, but Alex is just saying thank you for that, as Neptunium are looking to get back in the game.
Yeah, it's an excellent flick on his part, but I think Cynics maybe covered a bit better. But I think, again, it's just caught in 2 minds. Do I be ready to commit for it, or do I protect the goal? In the end, he did neither, and all of a sudden, Atmos, are they relinquishing that 3-goal lead that they had earlier? All of a sudden, it's looking quite shaky for them, but now it looks like their attention, their priorities have shifted, and now that they see their lead starting to disappear away from them, now they're looking to try and build it back to what it once was, as all of a sudden there's a bit more aggression coming out as Rubik's is forced to make the save.
And Atmos is in no need to show sudden aggression, but with a 4-3 on the line, everything could happen, especially at this point in the series, because Atmos knows damn well if they lose this game, they are on putting Neptunium on match points. With Cynics up in the air, trying to get a double tap. Bumped out of the way, though. It is Rubik staying with it. Borsal being there as a distraction. But now, Ghosty getting a good block off Cynics with a great demo to relieve some of that pressure, to relieve some of those rotational stress they might be exerting. Is now Alex with the ball. Rubik's playing very close. Actually, Rubik's going for a shot there, leaving the bar reverberating. But now Ghosty with an open net opportunity, bumping Alex, who's still in an unfortunate situation, solely having the final say in the matter, being in an absolutely insane position.
Well, just not quite sure what happened there. All of a sudden, Atmos, they have it on the counter-attack. It is Saltley grabbing his hat-trick, and I talked about them looking to build the lead back to what it once was. That is what they started to do, and they're finally starting to see the results. And now, what they need to do is maybe try to keep building it, because 40 seconds, it's not impossible for them to surrender a 2-goal lead from here. But Neptunium, they are looking to try and finish what they started. They're trying to start the comeback, but now they are looking like they're on the back foot, and game 4 is slipping away from them as Saltley trying to get another one, but this time it's saved as Ghosty misses the read on the wall, as down to the last 10 seconds, and I think both teams are starting to accept the outcome of this game 4. It looks like Atmos will pull it to 2 games apiece, as there's a double commit. Ghosty just trying to get one more forward, but Borsal drops it down, and it will be Atmos winning the 4th game, pulling it back to 2 games each.
And again, this time it working, the last time it not. But it's looking like they're taking turns of who's allowing to, or of who's allowed to be attacked. Because Saltley this time with 6 shots on target, 3 goals being made. But it's weird. I can imagine for Neptunium as well that it would be very weird to play against a squad like this.
Yeah, it is. And they looked so solid in the first 3 games. I mean, even when they conceded 3 goals in their second game, they still didn't look too bad. But now all of a sudden, when Atmos, they've stepped it up, and Neptune, they've just been caught out by it. And now that they've seen what Atmos are capable of, it's up to them to adapt.
And with that adaptation coming, we are going to move on to Beck with Park. Game number 5, 2-2 is the scoreline in the series. I just had to sneeze real quick, but fortunately able to mute myself in time. As now, Atmos and Neptunium are going to be playing a best of 3 moving onwards. Only 3 more matches could be played in this series, and they are tied in the scoreline. And the team that takes home game number 5 will be putting themselves in a very full position to take this series home.
Yeah, they will. And, well, looks like a bit of pressure for Atmos, but no shots resulting from it, as Neptunium VR able to deal with it. Rubix has put himself in a spot above her, as Borswell forced to come in for a 50. Now Cynic's not the greatest touch, but Alex can't make anything of it. And it feels like neither side able to get into their rhythm. As Atmos, they were able to really set the place alight with their offense, but now they just need to find their spark back, as Neptunium looking to get it into the middle, as Alex, there's a couple of bumps in there, and Alex gets a goal.
You were talking about sparks, but Borsful, the only one making sparks happen with a great demo. Rubik's actually bumping Cynics along the way as well. And with that great team chemistry, Alex was able to finish off a completely empty net after about a minute of regular playtime. And they are still looking for another attacking opportunity. Borsful now up in the air as well. Sorely able to get this ball away though. Rubik's great catch, leaving the ball to Saltley though, as the landing wasn't too good. Cynics now up in the air, looking for a double, not able to get it. Ghosty able to pick this up. The pressure of Atmos has not been relieved yet on the side of Neptunium. Rubik's gets a great touch there, as Atmos is looking to get more dangerous, looking to get those bumps in, looking to be a bit more physical. But no cigar yet. Great bump by Saltley though, absolutely demolishing Borsal, who would have been in a position to finish that shot off.
Well, oh, it could have been an open net, but he just completely missed it. There's just a real rush of blood there, and could they live to regret that? As, well, they are still ahead, but it's only 1 goal, the most dangerous lead, and now it's an open net again. Can Rubik's take advantage? No, Cynics is able to get back, able to snuff out the danger, as back at him we go, but Saltley shuts it down. The 50 against Rubik's goes into the corner. Axe picks it up, back at him it goes, but Ghosty strong clearance away, forcing Neptunium to start again at the back, and it is Borsful who brings it forwards, goes into Mill. Saltley does enough, but Alex able to put it on over open net. There's another bump, and it's the same result with Neptunium getting a goal.
Late series shivers down the spine of Saltley as he tried to get that ball away. Could have gotten a much better touch in my opinion there, but again, the pressure of play-ins is still there. Both teams not facing elimination just yet, but it would go a hell of a long way for one of these two teams to get up in that upper bracket, and it's looking like Alex wants to make it Neptunium as he makes it 3-0.
Yeah, he really wants this. That is his hat trick, and that goal was all him. Take it off the wall just so quickly, not giving Atmos any time to ready themselves in defense, and they find themselves 3-0 down. There's still 2 minutes left, so it's not the end of the world, but things are looking that much bleaker for them as Saltley does control it. No one's back for Neptunium, though.
Wow. Saltley showing balls of steel there. Faking out one of the opponents in front of his own net. Was ready for the 50, but having a catch like that, passing it over to his teammate, and then able to finish it back off. That is absolutely something I loved. My goodness.
Yeah, seriously impressive stuff when something like that comes out. But Atmos, they'll be hoping that it's not just a consolation. They'll be hoping that it is the start of a comeback as Saltley is trying to get another one, and he does.
What? Solely turning into prime Andres Iniesta. What is this? Finding another pass with Ghosty, he receives it right back. It's absolutely lovely to see Saltley divide the plays like a conductor. And again with the ball after kickoff, looking for a third, why not? Being saved, however, shut down. But definitely put Atmos back on track to get this match up and running for them again. Looking for that overtime. Now Cynics needs to beat Sporval there. Ghosty with a save after Rubik's got a bit dangerous. Ball not averted yet. Still on the side of Atmos. Saltley still getting there. Alex with nil boost. Almost leaving that beat. Oh, Saltley needs to turn here actually. Takes his time though. Now again gets the reset. Or not. Still looking for a pass into the middle. Borsal able to clear. Ball still not gone from the side of Neptunium. Finally, they're able to relieve some of that pressure. But Saltley, again, looking for a pass to Ghosty! Rubik's with a massive save, though. And he just might have saved Neptunium from an overtime.
Yeah, he might just as done. But there's still 25 seconds. And Atmos, they've really turned it on in these last 2 minutes or so. Had 2 really big chances. Not only big chances, but well-worked chances. And I think you can say that Neptunium maybe could have dealt with her a bit better. I mean, they haven't conceded from them yet. They could get another one, but Saltley does make the save. And still, it needs to be dealt with as it goes into the middle. Ghosty keeping it up. Waiting for Cynics, but the touch isn't good enough. Neptunium, they hang on to go 3-2 up in the series.
It looked like Atmos got plugged back into life support in that final minute. Saltley, absolutely in my books, the MVP of last game. Playing as a conductor, getting the passes into his teammates, receiving it back, finishing the jobs. He's played a baffling game, but unfortunately it was not enough. And I think they know what needs to change as they have called a timeout and will take the time to finally get some say in the matters of what is going wrong and what is going right.
Yeah, I mean, they did get things going. They did spark to life in that game 5, but it was just too little too late. By the time they started to click, it was just too late. They'd already conceded 3 times, and it was just too late for them. But I'm not really sure if I agree with the timeout, because they did finish the game strong. It's just unfortunate that they let themselves go too far behind before that. But they'll be hoping that the timeout has the desired effect.
The momentum they were building up was so good, and timeouts in times like these you better hope that they work out for you, because you might as well screw over your own momentum right there. But if Saltley keeps playing like he was doing in the penultimate 2 minutes of this game, of last game, we should be going to Game 7, as Atmos is always there, but just running behind the facts. Neptunium goes one game up, Atmos follows. Neptunium goes up another game, Atmos follows. And now in game number 6, we might see that pattern again, but they need to come out ahead at some point.
Yeah, they do. And I think going 3-0 down, it just really hurt them. But if they'd have just sparked to life that bit earlier, they might have just won that game. But they just left it too late. I think if they play that way the entire game, they can definitely force Game 7. They can still go on to win the series, but it's just too late. But as for Neptunium, I mean, they've got, I mean, while it isn't their timeout, I mean, they could use that couple of minutes to their advantage. But they were able to hang on despite that late flurry, despite that late surge. And I think they can definitely take heart from that. And they were able to actually see it out. They are 3-2 up in the series, and now for them it's up to having to withstand whatever Atmos throw at them in this next game.
And only time will tell. And that time is now. Players are making their way onto the field. Countdown is rocking down. Neo Tokyo has been the dream, but also the downfall of some teams here today that we've already seen play on stream. But right now, it could be the dream for both of these teams, as Ballsful is already looking for an early contender as an opener. Hitting the post, however, leaving it completely shaken in its step. And now, still with the ball, is Ballsful getting bulldozed out of the way by Cynics. Saltley still with it, though. Ball falling in front. Alex needs to get that away, does so accordingly. But Ghosty still with the ball. Their game is starting to calm down a bit. We are seeing less and less of ping pong, and maybe the first real play evolving right now. There's Ghosty looking to get that away. Ballsful just banging it as well. Okay, now it's turned back in ping pong. I take my words back, GM.
Yeah, it feels like neither team are really able to take control of a ball or get anything really productive with their touches. It's just looking to stop the immediate danger or just try and force their way through, but that one just drifting across the face rather than on target, as Alex gets a decent enough touch as last man over Cynics. Can he get it over Ghosty? Does get the 50. Still not completely dealt with, but that is a strong clearance away, which we needed. And Bustle was behind, just in case things went pear-shaped. And that is exactly how they went. But now they can build down the other end, but Alex has been demoed. Is there a chance for Atmos to do something with the counter-attack? There isn't. They're forced to backpedal. And that's just, again, back and forth. Neither side able to generate any significant pressure. It's just a couple of pot shots here and there.
Saltley now looking for a real threat, getting it over the goal. Cynics with the finish. Rubik's, however, denying said opportunity with that lovely bump from both Ghosty and Rubik's. The ball is going to the side of Atmos. Neptunium messing around a bit too much in front. Saltley actually getting a massive redirect in the form of a psycho. And now Saltley still with it. Has some time on his hands. Early dive, though, from Alex. Everyone is going up from Neptunium, but still no cigar. We've already had half a match of regular playtime be completed, and still no opener has been scored. We need one of these two teams to pull out ahead to try and get some content going, to try and get some energy flowing for both of these teams, because they both want to make playoffs in the upper bracket.
Yeah, they do, but you can't feel that it hasn't been nothing happening. Both teams have been trying to break down defense, trying to get shots on. You feel that goal. It's just a matter of time, and it is for Cynics.
What a great pass. Again, I think Saltley, yeah, popping it up. Ghosty then getting a shot on target. Unfortunately hitting the bar, but Cynics with that rotation, making sure to connect on it. And getting the connection he is, as he is the one to put Atmos ahead 1-0. And Neptunium are looking like they are going to drop another game after having just won one every single time they've done it so far. But right now, you really want to pull ahead, because otherwise it is game 7 and on to Champions Field. And at that point, everything could happen.
Yeah, and you have to say, I have to say, Atmos have defended magnificently. Neptunium, they've arguably had the better of proceedings so far. They have had more dangerous opportunities, but they just haven't been able to get one of them to go in. And as for Atmos, they haven't had the best of it, but whatever they have had, they have made the most of it. And it's just a matter of, can Neptunium force an equalizer? Can Atmos get another one? As Rubik's forced to make the 50, just trying to withstand it alone, just buying time as Alex able to get out one-on-one with Ghosty, but Ghosty makes a stop. Earlier so as Rubik's, but Ghosty's still there, and Neptunium still not able to find a way through.
With only 30 seconds left on the clock, it is starting to look worse and worse for Neptunium. Game 7 is coming closer and closer. Abdul's already screamed it to us before we even started this series that this would be the only game probably going to a game 7 today, but he turns out to probably be right. Rubik's looking for a pass into the middle. Ghosty making a very, very risky play there, but if Cynic just manages to drop this, it is going to be Champions Field for Atmos and Neptunium, because Death Cloud Esports have just won it with their Challenger tier team to make it to game 7 in this series.
Yeah, they do, and well, you have to say they did hang on at times. Neptunium, they really tried to force a way through, but Atmos, they just weren't going to let them have it. And such a tight game, and it was just that one goal that decided it. And you have to say it was a defense that allowed them to win.
Man. And no timeout for Atmos, and Neptunium is not looking like they want to have a timeout as well. And that's actually very fortunate, because this exciting matchup should not wait any longer. We really should not have to wait more than 1 minute between every game. That is happening here today. But here we are on the lovely Champions Field. And with Atmos coming back after every game they've lost, it is now their time to shine. Between all these great names hanging on these Vandals, as we are going in the last 5 minutes of today. Saltley instantly able to pick it up, taking it back to his own half. Alex still putting on some pressure. Bursel looking for the first shot, looking for the top corner, hitting the crossbar and the post at the same time. But at this game 7, it is going to be an absolute standoff between these two teams.
Yeah, it is, and there's actually a demo coming out, and Alex does get the open goal. What happened to the Atmos defense? I know there's a demo in there, and yeah, that was a demo of the last man. Alex just left. We're completely open net, and Neptunium take the lead.
With Neptunium taking the lead, the pattern that we've been seeing this whole series is emerging yet again, as Neptunium was always one step ahead of Atmos, but now Atmos really needs to let their sun shine, get that cloud away actually, so they can step into the spotlight. with the Cynics here, clearing it from the backboard. Ghosty able to follow it up. Borsal alone in net, but keeping the net clean. Salty looking for a double tap, hitting the post. It's going to be Cynics hitting the bar as well after that. Atmos could be at least tying this up, but it's looking like they don't even want to right now.
No, and well, they're still trying here as Alex able to make the last-ditch save against Ghosty, but Cynics still looking to keep it up for Salty, but the shot off target, and Cynics not able to get the follow-up as Alex gets there ahead of him, and now Ghosty still, Atmos still looking for their first goal, as there is a demo trying to open things up. Cynics does get to the shot, but it's too high. And now the pass to Ghosty, but all three Neptunian players in the way, but they still haven't been able to properly clear their lines as Cynics does backpedal, plays the ball back into the danger area as Borsal not looking comfortable at all as Ghosty looking for a demo to Cynics, but Alex makes a save again. Neptunian still not conceding.
It's as if we're watching three artists perform their absolute pinnacle of skills in net. Neptunium keeping that net clean like Zen and who else it might be. But right now, Ghosty again hitting the bar. Neptunium actually dodging a bullet with that one. And now Cynics still keeping on that pressure. Atmos still looking for that first goal. Neptunium triple committing to keep that net clear, doing everything in their power they can to keep that 1-0 lead, and they're actually going to make 2-0. Alex with an impossible angle from the right is able to make it 2-0. My goodness, where did this come from?
It's just that initiative as the ball broke loose in the middle. Alex just picking it up, gets it onto a backboard, and then the follow-up. It just happens so quickly. Atmos not able to react in time. And, well, Neptunium, they look to be up against the ropes. As Atmos, they push for the equaliser so hard, but it just didn't come to them. As that went off the post, it still won't go in. As Atmos, they're wondering just what they need to do to get a goal. It could be 3-0, but Cynics does make the save. And, well, Atmos, they can consider themselves hard done by. You just wonder, 9 shots, 0 goals. How much longer can it go on for? Will they get it more and more frustrated? As that's 10th shot, 11th shot, and they finally have a goal.
11 shots. Neptunium paying off the post and crossbar as Atmos are finally able to finish off one of their attacks. Absolutely dominating their attacks, but not enough to make it go home. But now they are finally able to find the back of the net, and I think they're going to be off the chain. No one putting pressure on Alex here, though, giving him a bit too much respect to get that ball away. And that might damage Atmos in finding their way back to the front, as all they've got left is 65 seconds to make it into overtime. But they could do God's work and maybe do it even shorter. But then Neptunium would have to allow that. As now, Borsful looking for an attacking play. Salty getting intercepted by Rubix, who's looking for a pass into the middle. Ghosty clearing that away. Salty with a grace touch as well. And now Alex getting it into the corner. Not clearing it far enough. Cynics getting it into the middle. Ghosty backflipping. But Rubix would have been there anyway. Now with 100 boosting on the left wall. Looking for a pass into the middle. Salty intercepting there. Cynics quick with it as well. 2 people up from Atmos. No one getting the ball into the net. 25 seconds is removing Neptunium from playoffs in the upper bracket. But Salty is denying them that chance.
Well, Rubik's he just got beaten to it, and Salty was just there. It's almost like he knew that the ball was going to come to him, and all of a sudden, despite needing 11 shots for the first goal, they only needed 1 more for the second goal. As Neptunium, is it starting to crumble around them? Or can Alex pull off something else? It goes into Bill.
Cynics.
Morsel. But the save comes through. And now, can either side find a late winner? As Cynics able to make the clearance. And now, can they bring it forward? Can they finish on 0? Instead, it goes to overtime.
Overtime here at Champions Field. You could not write this up in a script. Saltley is looking for a teammate in the middle, being blocked by Rubik's. He's now ghosting. What is that position? As he's trying to do his best to get that ball away, not even getting it too far away. Now Alex and Cynics and Ghosty jumping up for Alex. Cynics still with the ball into the middle. It's going to be Ghosty finding the back of the net. Placed again. Oh my goodness. I mean, just put it in. That's what she said. But please, DeathCloud Esports, relieve us from this absolute menacing Game 7. What is this?
Well, I would just have to wonder how long this has been. I think we're near enough. I think we're approaching half an hour behind schedule as this game, this series continues to drag on, as neither of these sides are able to find a goal. But can Saltley do that?
Oh my goodness! What a great touch. The softest touch you could ask for. Perfectly placed on the backboard. Borswell nowhere to be found. And of course it had to be Andres Iniesta himself. Saltley on 60 FPS. Brings it home for DeathCloud with a 4-3 series score.
Yeah, and, well, scored all 3 goals. Absolutely pivotal in that series. Let's just quickly have a look at the post-series stats. Well, post-game stats, actually. As, yeah, we do see Cynics pick up the MVP award. And now we do look at the post-series stats as Atmos win the series. And overall, despite Neptunium having them on the ropes for a decent portion of it, they are able to get themselves over the line. And, well, hopefully we'll be able to see the series MVP soon. But just need to wait and see who that is. As it looks like it will be awarded to Saltley. And not only is it the 10 goals, it's also the 11 demos, the 9 saves, a brilliant all-round performance, really making things happen for DeathCloud.
Yeah, it had to be none other than Saltley, man. Oh my days, has he been playing off his rockers this series? I don't know what he's had for dinner, but make me some Mother Saltley, because man, that was an absolute display of brilliance. He's done so much for DeathCloud here today, and he's been an absolute team player for this roster, and I cannot wait to see what kind of damage he can do on Saturday.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting to see just how far they can go, but we will have to wait a little bit longer because the rest of the Challenger playoffs are on Saturday. But for tomorrow, we will move into Rival to see the start of their play-ins action. But as far as I'm concerned, I believe that will be that Thursday and Friday will be Rival play-ins. But for Challenger playoffs, if you want to see a conclusion of that tier, then you will have to tune in on Saturday. But that is all. And before we go, just need to quickly mention the sponsors that have helped us. Badass Studios, been there many, many years. SpartanWare, if you're looking for any new apparel. LTXAcademy, if you want any coaching. And if you think of buying anything in the store, please use code RSC-eu. Really helps us out. And with that being said, well, it's been such a long stream with so much drama, but hoping for more of the same. And if you want more of the same, be sure to tune in for tomorrow, where we'll see the start of Rival play-ins.
I think before we gotta go, we are actually.
Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends
No.
flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will tailor to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type medify.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's medify.gg/@cmasorl_.